So here I am today in the 2023 Lexus RCF Track Edition. This thing is a monster in terms of its strength, power, and to be honest, its performance value. It's unique. And I've done some high-powered vehicles. This one has a 5-liter V8 in it, but this one straight up feels like it has a monster inside that's trying to get out. So, let's take a peek at the 2023 Lexus RCF Track Edition. Here we go. Well, how are we doing today, folks? Today, like I said, I'm looking at the 2023 Lexus RCF. This is the Track Edition, so it's a little bit more, a little tweaked in some upgrades that go between the Standard and the Track Edition. Now, the Track Edition has this full carbon fiber hood, a lot of carbon fiber accents on this vehicle. It also has a 0 to 60 time in under 4 seconds. It's like 3.96 is what it's rated at. 472 horsepower under the hood on this guy with the 5-liter V8 and like 396 or something pound-feet of torque. This thing is quite enjoyable to play around with. Now, whenever you're driving a vehicle that has a lot of power, you always play around with it, right? You're always gonna maybe hit it a little bit harder there or not. Which definitely affects the fuel economy a little bit as well. But if you're in a vehicle like this, you're not looking for that super uber efficient vehicle. You're looking for something that's just fun, sporty, fast, and enjoyable. And this thing hits all those marks. Now the seats are like a racing type, more sporty type seat, which have its advantages in that it holds you in place. Its disadvantages depending on how large you are, of how well you fit in the seat. Also, no heated or cooled seats in it. I would love to have seen that on this, like some cooled seats, because it's been warm the last week that I've had this, and I would have liked a little bit more cooling to it. But I digress. This specific vehicle, and we're going to go through the interior here. We're going to do my full walk around and everything as well. Normal stuff that I always do. However, this in the infotainment center, the whole center console stuff is the older Lexus feel. It still has the trackpad for controlling the system. Things that I don't like that I think they really need to upgrade. And of course, I look at it two different ways. This vehicle, as it sits, is $105,700 roughly. This vehicle, at that price point, I would expect to have some of the really the nicer features, but that's not what they're going for this vehicle. This vehicle is all about performance. So at the same time, Lexus, I think, is concentrating their newer infotainment system on the vehicles that they produce more of, which, of course, this is a more unique vehicle. They're not going to produce as many of them, so they're not going to, I think, put a lot of their focus on it. But I can't wait to see when they get everything upgraded in this, what it becomes. I really can. And for the powertrain, though, the only thing that really could make this thing better, because it is powerful, fast, sounds awesome, everything about it is fantastic, except for the fuel economy. Again, I can't say that that's going to be your number one point of looking at. Most people that are looking at this type of car aren't really considering that as a heavyweight score. But 16 in the city, 24 on the highway for a combined of 19, and it is pretty accurate. In the city, I was getting 16, 17, closer to 17 actually. And on the highway, I was getting 22, 23, about 23. So pretty close, to be honest, what it is. Right now, my combined is 22, but I did a lot of highway driving. So yeah, let's get out of the vehicle. Let's walk around and look at this beautiful vehicle and go from there. So here we are. We're looking at the vehicle here from the front view, and a lot of carbon fiber on this vehicle, which reduces the weight, which is the big thing. So we have the front, the lower front spoiler here. We have the entire hood is full carbon fiber, and I'll show you that when I open up the hood actually, as well as the roof. The roof is all carbon fiber as well. But the RCF edition looks fantastic in its own right without going to the track edition with all the carbon fiber components. It just looks really, really good. Also the wheels, really, really good looking with these big brakes, these ceramic brakes, fantastic. Nice F emblem there. And then we get back here to the rear wing, also carbon fiber. Rear diffuser is carbon fiber, lots of carbon fiber, and that's kind of the point with this specific vehicle in the track edition. I really like the brakes just kind of stand out, right? You can see the carbon ceramic, they're written right on the side of it. And I will say that I did drive on some gravel roads this weekend, and so I still have a lot of lime buildup in the wheels there. But this is what it's going to look like when you normally use it, right? So looking at the fantastic appearance of this vehicle, and it is because I got so many people asking me about it on my trip that I took this last weekend. But let's jump inside. Okay, let's go inside and take a peek at what she looks like here. So to start, we have, let me get lighten it up a little bit. A lot of carbon fiber accents. Now this vehicle also black, but also all the stitching is blue. A lot of blue accents in this vehicle, including the seats, but also the seat belt is also blue, which is just kind of a neat little touch. We have our standard, blind spot monitoring, automatic high beams, standard stuff down here, left knee side. The steering wheel has a decent amount of buttons on it, kind of the standard steering wheel. However, it's got this kind of suede wrap all the way around, both blue and black. It looks really good, but it feels really good in the hand. I don't know how long this will last before it starts looking a little bit, kind of weird, because even when you have standard leather, you can always see the wear. I think this is going to wear a little faster. But that's just what it is. So moving to the driver's information display, we have all the information here that we would normally get. I can use the different buttons here to change modes. Here we go. Let's get on the directional pad. And look at that.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I bumped the radio to start playing. We have on the steering wheel, we have a directional pad right in here that we can actually cycle through. You can see over here. Settings, we can go through, see our fuel economy and kind of, up and down, go through some different things, tires. So this will show you the G-force depending on how you're driving. If you're driving to the left or right, it'll show you the force on your body and how many G-forces, right? All these things I can go through here. The compass audio is currently off, but that's what that is over there. And then the main area here, so that's the speedometer right there. But it's also a digital form, so when you're driving, you'll see it there. But I can also change with the keypad over here the type of driving. So eco, normal. Normal is actually pushed down, and then sport to the right. So if I go to eco mode, it'll look like that. And if you are hitting the accelerator, this little outer ring disappears. And then if we are more coasting or not using as much power, it'll look similar to this. Then I can go to normal mode, which is what it looked like there, sport mode, and sport plus mode. So it just kind of changes depending on, I guess, the mode essentially that you're in and how you're going to be driving. All right, moving on. This does have the 10.3-inch display. And so I can look at, so for instance, projection. It doesn't have wireless CarPlay. It only has wired. So unfortunately, there's the map. It's not crazy big, right? It's a fine, but we have the bane of my existence in the Lexus trackpad. I'm really not a fan of these. If you've watched my other videos of some of the other Lexus models that still have this, I hate the trackpad. Mazda and BMW have kind of a knob system, and I actually really enjoy those. But if you're driving on the road, just like touching this, you can see it actually is like a mouse cursor. But if you're driving, you're hitting bumps and stuff, it's not a great experience. It really isn't. And I apologize, that's from the camera. There we go. So yeah, that's what that does. So like if I go to the menu, I'll have to Once I go down here, I swipe, swipe, swipe. It takes a lot more maneuvering to get to where you want versus a touchscreen where, you know, and this is a touchscreen too, right? I can click on the touchscreen, but it's so far away from the driver that it's not something that you're going to use regularly in touch, to be honest about it. So that's the infotainment display, and that's the largest one that they offer. I'm looking forward to when they remove this, as well as this little analog clock, and put a large display in, and that's me. The climate control system, simple, easy. It does have the standard, like, where you can kind of go in between and use this I guess bar kind of as a trackpad, right? I like it. Or you can just tap down, tap up, however you want to do it. I like that. It's neat. It takes up more space than it really needs to. Still has an old CD player. Like I said, it hasn't been updated. You can tell it's aging in terms of its update. But this also does have the Mark Levinson audio system, which sounds amazingly fantastic. This vehicle has awesome audio in it, and that's always a big plus with Lexus that have the Mark Levinson audio. Well, a little bin here that I actually typically, when I plug my phone into my cord that I have here to use CarPlay, I just set it in there and kind of lean it there. We already went through this guy. We have launch control, traction control, off and hold. To put this into launch control, what you basically put it into drive, you put it into Sport Plus mode, make sure you have traction control off, and with the brake on, you hit launch, and it'll kind of, if we actually do it here real quick, I'll show you. Put it in drive, traction control off, launch, and now we have launch mode right there. So there it is. I'm going to put it back in park for now. Standard gear selector switch. We do have a manual mode down here, as well as paddle shifters, so we can use that in that, or you just full automatic. It's all up to you. Couple cup holders. We do have a small bin here in the center console. Gives us some storage for sunglasses, whatever, but that's where your USB ports are for plugging your phone into the system. It does have a 3.5mm aux jack as well. In all reality, it just needs a serious update right here in the electronics. There should be some USB-C ports out here. There should be a lot of things that it doesn't have that is missing. It really is, and that's just as simple as it is. Glove box, we still do have a glove box, so that's always nice. Still carbon fiber accents there as well. And if you want to see what the seats look like, I think they look quite fantastic myself. But we're going to get in the back and see how well it fits a normal size adult. So I did move my seat forward just a little bit. So where I normally would have it would be back a little bit, but you'll see why here in a second, because there's not going to be a whole lot of room. But as soon as I flip this lever here, the seat will automatically power forward to allow me to get in. It's going to be a tight fit. It's not a huge back seat. All right. And then once the seat will automatically start coming back, and we're going to see how far it comes back even with the extra room I gave it. So I can get in here. My legs are definitely kind of into the seat a little bit, but I can kind of go off to the side a little bit. We do have air back here as well. No USB ports, some speakers, but it's a two-seater back seat, which apparently taking my trip got some stuff back here, but very tight. You're not going to want to sit back here for any long period of time because there's not a whole lot of headroom either. It's fine going across town. It's fine A to B real quick, but you're not going to, if you're an adult, you're not going to be back here for long periods of time. It's just not going to happen. So let's go to the trunk. Okay, so no powered trunk. It's just a button and you lift it, right? And I have to close it that way as well. But it actually has a decent amount of room in here. It really does. It's not bad at all. Now you're not going to get, a little bit underneath, but that's where your kit is. Everything's going to sit on top, but it actually is impressive. Now the seats do not fold forward, so this is the space you get. And I had this filled up with camping gear actually this weekend, so there it is. More storage than a lot of sporty cars like this, but yeah. So as promised, we're going to look at the engine compartment. Now this is a carbon fiber hood, so it's a lot lighter. It does have gas shocks on it, so it'll hold itself open. And then we have this beautiful 5-liter V8 engine. Sounds great, both under the hood as well as out of the tailpipes. It's just a beautiful engine. I love the blue headers on it. It's just great. But there she is. And you can see up here, full carbon fiber. Pretty awesome hood. Now in addition, this one also has the triple LED headlamp as an added bonus, as an upgraded option, which gives some really awesome light too. Okay, time for the suitcase test. Our normal suitcase test that we always do. I might be able to get a fifth one in there. And last, but certainly not least, if I can get it in, and I can. That's 5 carry-on suitcases. There is, back here, enough room for a small backpack or a couple of small backpacks. But there it is, 5 carry-ons. So that's the outside, inside of the vehicle. I want you to experience what it sounds like when you start this thing up and you kind of rev it a little bit. So I'm going to show you that now. So in a nutshell, that's the RCF Track Edition. Now, I'd be hard felt if I did all of that and didn't at least give you a little taste of what it sounds or feels like when it's accelerating at a rapid rate. So after doing all the walk around, after doing all that, let's get over to the highway and yeah, make it go a little faster than the 15, 20 miles an hour that I've been doing. All right, so I'm coming up to the highway here. And when I get up here, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in that sport mode. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in Sport Plus because it definitely has a little bit different shifting pattern depending on what mode you're in. And we have nobody coming from my side. So I'm not gonna, I'll do a rolling start, but. So 65, I'm not gonna go any faster than that, but she's a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut. So all in all, like I said, this vehicle feels like it has a monster inside that wants to get out. And I'm not like kidding about that. When you drive it, no matter where you drive it, it feels like it wants to go. It just wants to go. And it's quite enjoyable, especially being a person that loves vehicles. I really have been enjoying driving this. It's been comfortable to me, but I have had other people of various widths and heights, and the seats can be a little bit uncomfortable if you're a little bit bigger, right? More than a wider sitting pattern, maybe is the best way to put it. So it's hard to say without you getting in one whether how comfortable the seats are going to be for you. For me, they're fantastic. But other people have said, not that they're super uncomfortable, but they're not the most pleasant seats that they've ever sat in before. So that is the 2023 Lexus RCF Track Edition. It's been an honor to drive this for the last week, and I took it on a trip, so I have had some time behind the wheel. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for sticking with me here to the end of the video. Coming up on the last part of my drive here, and I appreciate you guys watching. Yay.